And we are live. Fantastic. So, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Lich's Archives. As usual, not a lot of things to go into today, so we'll just jump on into it. Last we left off, our heroes were making their way through Black Hollow, making a couple of waves and looking into some things. They ended up getting involved with the Flame. They ended up talking with some of the other Union leaders that are up for a position of power on the seat of Aramoni, and they were hired to investigate. They went about their task zealously, jumping into it, wasting no time. And they even got into it in the same day, sneaking into Yulvi Flametongue's estate. They had a plan. The two rogues were going to sneak on in, and the paladin and the cleric in the heavier armors were going to have a distraction and be ready if they were needed. The initial investigation was a little hard getting in there, but it was managed. However, you guys were split. Doing your own separate investigations, you didn't really find too much A-Rod, but Assie, you did discover a secret tunnel. You sent us a couple of messages, and everyone realized we have to deal with this today. So you guys made your way downstairs, you had a little reunion, but it was cut a little short. Someone else also snuck in here past the painting. Another message was sent telling the other two that they needed to get inside. Clever use of a spell, I believe it was Command Escort, to get inside. A few little checks here and there, and you guys pretty much walked in there, no problem. Meanwhile, Assie and A-Rod got into a fight with a little halfling that also seemed to be a rogue or an Echo Knight. He was very sneaky. He was armed to the teeth, and he was able to move around through this basement really quickly, and you guys ended up fleeing down the tunnel. Due to his shorter stature, you guys actually managed to get away from him. You all gathered at the bottom, you've lost your escorts along the way, and suddenly it's the four of you in this place. Everything's looking good. And then that's when everything went south. This little fellow showed up again. The party split, some people trying to drive him away and end the problem, other ones deciding it was time to loot, and a trap went off. At this point, we've had a couple of downs and a couple of more, and by the end of it, the room was on fire. A-Rod lied, charred on the floor, unable to recover from his last down. Assie tackled this halfling through a secret escape tunnel, and ended up also dying from the fires. This was also their third death save. Sorry, third time being down, not death save. And in Shalashar and Core, you two made it out. You grabbed a couple of things, including the relic that Assie originally tried to get their hands on and tried to suck your way to the Fey Realms, but you held on. You escaped through these tunnels. You came across a final trap. It seemed to have been wherever this guy was going. There's a rat hideout, and just when you're about to go in there, Core said something, and he said, maybe don't do this. Now the perception check was made, you realized there were people on the other side of the door, and so you left. You got out of there, you made it back into what was starting to be the dawn of the next day. You had a little conversation figuring out, where do we go now? Do we go back? And you guys realized, or you decided, Black Hollow is not where we need to go. We need to go south. You had a burial for your two friends, Assie and A-Rod, stacking a couple of rocks not far off from the coast, but a little bit away from the sewers. So, you know, it's, I wouldn't say classy, but peaceful.
It was in the branches of the tree, remember? In the roots of the tree?
Yes. So, you guys then continued. You made your way down to the town of Black Timber. Seems to be a logging town. Much of the outside of this place has been stripped down to just the stumps. But there's being char where trees are made to collect metal, formed into natural defenses and the likes. There's a lot of metal filaments, metal strands, metal just stuck on these stumps that no one can get through. It looks like for the most part you kind of cut through the trees and you bend or you scrape this out of the way unless you have a way to get through this. This has started a new business within Black Timber. There's some sculptures that have been shaped out of these things, various things, and it's almost like just this garden of metallic structures or sculptures or art pieces for probably like the last half an hour of walking. As you get closer to the town, there seems to be nicer ones as well, as you guys would also see, Shalasho and Co. There, people are currently reworking and maintaining these. It seems it's an ongoing project. Something isn't just made and then left that way forever. That being said, it's currently around noon, I believe. I believe we fast forwarded the travel just a little bit, and that's when we were arriving.
Yep.
So all of that being said, what are you two heading towards in this moment as you're walking into this place? The outside of this place doesn't seem like it has very many walls. There's a couple of like outposts here and there. The road's actually very well maintained, but also very well used. I mean that in the way of there is actually cobblestone, but they've even like put tracks in it, so then you could put something on and roll something very heavy along this way. You guys are coming in off of a side road. The main road leads directly west into the Black Forest and beyond. Are you planning to head into this town, skirt it? What exactly is the goals as you're approaching this place?
You think we should
We made it.
go find a boat first, or what?
Honestly, I don't even know what to do at the point. Ace asked you had our paperwork. So Matthias is going to Black Hollow regardless.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any paperwork to prove who we are. And realistically, this place doesn't seem like it'll have a very powerful mage, so I don't even know if we can get a teleportation spell. I don't know if... Excuse me.
Well, that's why I was thinking boat and just take that choice to get back to Milscar. We'll worry about the paperwork later.
Maybe that is the best choice. Damn, I just realized, did you grab the tower?
No. Damn it. Should have thought about that. It's a bit too much of a rush.
Yeah, I managed to grab...
Oh man, that was expensive too, wasn't it?
Very. I managed to grab the earring, so at least we can communicate, and the circlet, but I wonder... How versed in typical arcane magic are you?
Pretty much none. I know a very little bit, just from what I've overheard for other people talking about, though.
I'm curious if there's a way to summon a magic item. I mean, Zap got it for us. What's the chance that he can poof it back? I mean, I don't think I've ever heard of anything like that, but considering how powerful Zap is...
I think you'd have to ask him.
Well, I think we should probably get into town, take a look around. It wouldn't hurt to get a little bit of a lay of the land. See what resources there are to draw on to kind of keep moving.
Okay.
Actually, I wouldn't mind staying here for a little bit just to kind of gather our wits. Maybe a night. Just depends on what we need.
Yeah, if you got any ideas, I'm pretty wiped out and my mind isn't working, so I don't know what to do next other than just get a boat.
I'd say we head towards the center of town. I'm gonna take a look for a magic shop, see if there's a spellcaster. Probably hit the tavern.
Alright, let's do it.
Okay. So you start heading into this town. As I said, it is the main road that you're able to follow throughout most of this. Even compared to Black Hollow, this place seems newer. Definitely still has the same motif with the charred timber buildings here and there. Large pieces of canvas used to give shade to this road as well, though. It seems as though this town has definitely, if you care, make a history check.
That is a 17.
17. This is indeed a newer city, and it has been built in rings, actually. And as you're making your way through it, you guys cross over the first little bump here, and it seems as though there was a wall here once. Now, though, it's been moved, and as you look back over the way you came, there are the outposts, but there's also foundations being set. It looks as though this place builds a little bit, and then it extends, builds a little bit, and then it extends, and with that history check, you'll know it's currently on its third expansion, and each time this happens, there's certain things that come along with it, new districts that are added, so on and so forth. This is actually, for lack of a better term, a very artsy city. You guys could find all sorts of craftsmen here, especially like even wizards. It's now you think of it as like that was just silly to say. There are wizards here with fabricate, there are wizards here with crafting, there are dwarf smiths here. There are people that make their entire life shaping and moving metal as the forest is cleared in front of this, the march of this city, the march of this town that's trying to become that. With that in mind, though, you also know that there's a few places worth checking out. For instance, the very first inn that was ever built, and it's a bit of a place to go and check it out. It's called Stumperson's Stump, and this was the first official place built within this city. It's definitely closer to the harbor district of the city center, but there are finer places as well. What sort of inn would you be looking for, do you think?
I mean, I doubt there's really a tavern here that's going to be less than reputable, considering what the town aims for.
That would be a fair assumption.
So I think probably something where we could maybe look into some hired muscle if need be. If we plan on dealing with the druid, then probably having an extra pair of hands would be nice.
Okay.
So maybe a busier part of town, maybe something with mercenaries, stuff like that.
Well, I mean, as I said, currently the walls are down. That means that there are quite a few people on hand in case things do get out of hand. You could find a name tavern, or you could go to one of the places that's almost like an open barracks, it would seem. There's one place, as I said, it is set up, and it's just called the Huntsman's Axe. And then there's another place that's just more canvas than anything else, and its biggest thing is almost set up in a ring with just a bunch of outdoor seats and stuff like that, but canvas over top. Doesn't have a name though, but there are quite a few people there milling about, and as you are just kind of looking at both of these places, as I said, it's very open, things are expanding. There's one larger fellow calling out to you guys. He's currently by his cart. Kisk, why don't you go ahead and describe yourself and let us know how you're getting these people's attention.
Kisk is a 6'10" half orc. Oh.
Just see the cat's head rise from your crotch.
Kisk is a 6'10" half orc in full plate armor. He has a bit of a belly on him, and the armor comes out to accommodate that. It's deeply bronze colored and has orcish etchings all over it. He has long tusks that are decorated with golden rings, and he carries a locket around his neck. And he's waving over sausages, beers, ales, the best you can find. Come on, you over there in the armor. Come with the little one.
I don't know. maybe we should find some other place. He looks kind of shifty.
I mean, if he's looking for work, he's right up our alley.
I am kind of hungry though.
I'll tap Kerr on his little behind and scoot him along.
Can you even reach down that far?
Do I not have legs?
I was just thinking, how long are your arms?
I mean, I'm 6'2".
Still bugbear long? Just
I am literally my height. I'm fairly certain I can touch your ass. I'll tap Kerr and we'll shift over. What are you offering today?
Well, I have some beautiful smoked sausages fresh off the grill, and his backpack has cured meats hanging off the side of it, cooking utensils, and there's 3 dead rabbits strapped to his waist. I have the finest sausages freshly made this morning. They're amazing, and I have the sweetest ale in all of Char. Please, here, try it. Try some. A sample. And then he, opens up a spigot on the keg and holds out a glass. Take it, please. On the house. Just try it.
I'll try it. Yeah. Are you sure you
go.
don't want to try some? So? I think you're
I'm
good.
alright. I'm not really parched at the moment.
You look like you're bone thin. Try some sausages then.
Fuck I'll lift my faceplate. I'll just shove it in. You just hear the doll echoing.
And some sausages, please. Try some of these little ones. Try some of these. Freshly done this morning. Beautiful.
You have a
Beautiful
very
blend.
nice aroma.
Oh, compliments are always appreciated. What are 2 peculiar gentlemen like yourselves doing around here?
We're actually just arrived in town. We're actually looking to hire some help, get lay of the land, so to speak.
Hire some help? Oh, that'd be great. I'd love to. I'm trying to travel around and find new flavors. I'm always looking for new exotic stuff and adventure.
Well, we're actually heading up to Milscar as soon as we can, so
Milscar? Can't say I've been there before.
quite a nice
Make
place.
Let's just do a general perception check for you there, Kisk.
General perception?
Yep.
13.
13. You've been here long enough, and there are still cryo stones in this place. You would be aware that that is to the south, and one of the warnings on the cryo stones that you have heard a couple times over now is to be careful traveling south, as the Brightstone animals have been becoming rather aggressive. Specifically around the town of Milscar.
Careful if you're traveling north. Some
South.
Brightstone animals, or south, sorry. Some Brightstone animals have been known to causing trouble on the roads.
Yeah, we
Ran into some.
me and my party, 2 of them had recently passed.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. We ran into a couple of the Brightstone animals. Actually, there's a dwarf we were fighting alongside, and he stabbed his hand through one of the bear's eyes, and one of his other hands got fucking terribly mangled. Managed to
Jesus,
save it, but they're not
by the
fucking around.
gods, that is a grisly tale indeed.
And the giant squirrels. And the iron bird.
Sounds horrifying.
Do you live for a little bit of adventure? It's quite an experience. But if you're not a weathered fighter, if you haven't broken yourself in, so to speak, it can be a little harrowing.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that, and I'll tap my maul. I've seen
Looks
more
like you
action
can-
than I care for.
You look like you can carry a weapon. What are your rates?
I'll tell you what. I'll take whatever percentage cut you seem fair in whatever we find.
Currently, that's 33%.
That'll do.
Do you have anywhere to be? Any time constraints? We're looking a little long term for helping hands.
This card is all I have to my name. It travels with me everywhere.
I'll hold up my hand. Celashar.
Kisk, the butcher.
I dig that. Okay. Well, we are looking for a fourth, so I was thinking of heading maybe to... Is there like a barracks or anything around here?
There's would I know of any? I guess I would know of the local taverns
Yeah.
that I could.
You would
that I
be
could
aware.
prob-
You would also, general same idea. The towns are being built right now. Most of the adventures and stuff like that are on the outside ring, just being there in case they end up finding work.
Okay. I'll release my echo and let my echo grab my cart, and I'll start walking along with my echo.
So you do see, like, what does your echo look like?
It looks like an almost astral projection of myself. It just kind of steps out of my body and then grabs the cart and just starts to follow me.
Almost instinctually, I'll just reach for the scimitar.
Oh, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. No need for all the violence.
When I told you that our party members had recently died,
Now, just so you know, before you say this, very different descriptions. One's an astral self, the other was a shadow that didn't move. Just so you know.
we encountered someone that had something a little similar to yours, except it was stationary and he could kind of swap places with it.
Well, I've never heard of anyone else having this ability. I can swap places with mine as well. Though I've never heard or seen anyone else do it before. It's nice to know that there's others out there, I suppose.
Just has me a little on edge.
Well, I apologize. You have nothing to fear from me. I'm a gentle spirit.
I appreciate it. I didn't mean to alarm you, just...
That's understandable. You've been through many hardships, it sounds like.
say that.
Well, let me lead you along. We'll look for somewhere. We'll find something. I'm gonna take them to the closest inn that I think would have mercenaries for hire.
Alright. Probably the first thing you would have started with would just be the big old tented area. The one that's just kind of set up. It moves around a lot. Like, the fact that it's even here today is a little strange. Like, you've been here for... How long do you think, Kisk?
Probably maybe a week.
Probably maybe a week. You've seen this thing move within that week at least twice. Started someplace, then it moved, and then it moves again. It's just kind of like marches around the perimeter as more of a muster point than anything else. That being said, within this place, there are all sorts of figures. Doesn't really have a barkeep as much as it has a couple of longer tables set up along one place that looks like they've been stocked up with food. There's a kitchen out back where people are cooking and stuff like that. And this is actually one of the reasons why you've set up a little bit ahead of these guys, because a lot of people come here for food. Hungry people are usually on this road. It's been pretty good for you to be staked out at this area. One of the most noticeable people that you would reckon, that your eyes would be drawn to, Shalashar, probably you as well, Kor. Nassim, why don't you describe what you're doing and where you are, on the understanding that you were just meeting with a couple of other people in this area, you finished your lunch, and you're rising up to leave.
Okay. I am wearing clothes of very loose brown, orange, and vibrant red silks. I have one very large pauldron on one shoulder with the large symbol of the flame right there. There is a cloak wrapped around me, open on the left side, revealing my left arm. And there you can see a bracer with just a bunch of pouches and items sewn into it. Skin is pale, almost ashy looking, with 4 red markings, 3 down one cheek, 1 on the other. Bald, blue knitted cap, and clasped in my hand to my chest is an erotic novel. I'm bowing my head. No. I cannot have another drink today. It was good working with you. I'll be seeing you around, yeah, bruv?
You have no fun. And he grabs his tankard and takes another drink.
I remember I drank more than you last night, bruv. You were under the table, not me.
The difference is, you quit. I'm still going.
Keep your flame bright.
So,
I
Fireflies.
I turn and I notice first and foremost Salashar. Let's look him over. Haven't seen Alma that much in quite a while.
You're muted.
Sorry, I was crinkling my fucking food.
I do have one question for you though. Do you still have the symbol that you had gotten from Paya Balls? What's
your
his name?
drug.
What?
Your drug.
It's still pinned to my my cloak.
Still, check it out. It's another one of those fanatics.
My eyes land upon that, and I just smile at you. Yeah. Far from home, aren't we, bruv?
What?
Sorry, you must be
Paya Nisim Sparkweaver. You?
Celishar Longpire. Unfortunately, I'm not of the,
Inferno?
I'm actually not of the flame. I was working with Pyre Urdrog out of Black Hollow.
Yeah. He's a character.
Very
That's
steadfast.
for him.
I respect his reasoning, the way he goes about things. Not for me, innit?
I was helping him with an investigation, and there was a little bit of chaos that erupted and helped quell it.
I heard he asked if I could come by, help a little bit. Yeah, 2 pie is better than 1, but I have other things that draw my eye.
May I ask what?
Southward and more inland. Wanted to stop by this scarred mill. A lot of aggression going on there, and wanted to see Aaron Moniwise.
That's interesting.
Hmm?
Actually, we just met Kisk here, and
Hello.
we're actually looking for a 4th member to our little band here. We're looking for a couple extra hands along the path, and we're heading actually down to Milscar.
I can only offer 1 hand, but no problem sharing the road. You, Kiska, had your drinks the other day. The best I've had here so far.
Oh, that you were too kind, really, too kind. Can I interest you in some sausages, freshly made this morning? On the house, of course.
Well, that's very kind of you. I appreciate.
Here you go. Please, take it. Enjoy.
How do
I
you make
took
money
my,
on giving away free samples?
I prefer the smile to the money.
Oh, okay.
I tuck my erotic novel somewhere underneath this big cloak. Take it. And study. So, you plan to leave today, tomorrow, week from now?
Probably tomorrow. I'm actually looking for I'm looking for a wizard to help me contact someone.
I am Paya. I can help.
Do you know sending magic?
Yes. Regularly use it.
Can we find a place a little more quiet?
Yeah, I have an inn, Stumpers, yes?
I'm sorry.
Stumpa's in.
I
You
know
should
of it.
come.
We just
Please.
arrived in town
Yes.
like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, well then, you're in luck.
Which way is the late going?
And I'm gonna lead you to the first inn built in this town.
It
Alright.
could be getting taken to a dark corner and I wouldn't know.
It's a nice, jaunty little stroll through this place. It is definitely, like... It's strangely like Metro, you know? Like, there's just so many nice little amenities here and there. They have, like, outside toilets that are, like, in little boxes. They have, like, instead of torches lining the road, they actually have, like, strings that attach things, and they have like lanterns that hang, and you can see shell with your insane perception. They have pulleys to move these things from one side to the other. It's just, it's nice to see. It almost reminds you of
So
Yonj,
dang
like this
nice.
level of attention to certain things, to like these amenities. And you're brought down, you know, the buildings get a bit more traditional. You get the chunkier buildings, the thicker timbers, the darker woods. And eventually they take you to something that literally looks like if the tree of Black Hollow was half the size and cut down to a stump. And they've even put a giant axe that looks like probably took a storm giant to plant this thing inside of this thing. Like, there's no way it's natural. It almost looks like a fairy house and has these two little windows to either side with like the amber glass of a fairy tale. And the door itself, it looks like it shouldn't fit. It looks like it's misshapen, but as someone pushes through it, you actually hear like the sound of like a tight seal being broken. And as it opens up, this is finally when you can hear the sound. It's a very lively place. There's violins and flutes playing, and it's strangely fey, but it's also like just a weird time signature. It's like jazz if it met fey and was played on flutes.
Polyrhythms.
Exactly. And the last thing you notice as this opens, every single person inside is wearing like flannel. Except for the patrons. They're whoever comes in, but this is strangely themed as like lumberjacks meet fae.
Lumber Fae. Love it.
Lumber fae.
So, are we going upstairs? It's just grab a table?
Is it a private matter?
Our employer would probably rather keep this fairly quiet.
I gesture for you to follow me to whatever room I've been using for the past 2 weeks that I've been here.
Sure.
Well, week and a half more like.
Does Nassim spend a lot of money on rooms usually?
Not a lot.
So just like whatever was available kind of thing would do?
Yeah.
Okay. Easy enough. And in that case, instead of going upstairs, you guys actually go downstairs, and it's almost like you're like going into the roots of this tree. And they kind of take you down. It's just weird to be in like this completely smooth wooden tunnel that's like, it doesn't taper, but it's painted in a way that's almost like this weird optical illusion that almost makes you nauseous. And eventually they take you down another one, and it lets in, and it actually opens up into almost like a bubble underneath this place. It's like completely smooth on top. They have a window, except the window is just like a picture of like a rising sun. And then one thing that they did put in here, as you are underground, is there's like a little clock of some sort that you would recognize from Yun. It's a timekeeper that lets people know what time it is down here. Besides that, not too many amenities in this room. You know, you got your bed, you got your storage chest. Because they've been here for a while, they've also have like a dresser and stuff like that.
There was a winged cat curled up on the bed. A couple of extra items of clothing tucked away neatly in the drawers. And a half-finished letter left out on a desk. Quickly go over there, and the first thing I do is pick up the half-finished letter, tuck it under my cloak. It'll be a tight fit in it, but make it work.
I'll kind of shrug my shoulders a little bit and try to make some room. Big chunk boy.
Yeah, you're definitely stooping into this.
All right. To preface this, my name is Selshar. I'm a fairly, I wouldn't call myself devout even. I pray to the god Juxta. I hail from Yun. This is my companion Kerr. Would you like to say anything?
Anything.
He's
Actually, yes. Before you guys fully decide to join our band, you need to be very much aware and take probably at least the night to consider that we do have a 50% fatality rate, so you'll probably die.
To be fair, I don't want to say AC did it,
But AC
but
did it.
yeah, she had little grabby hands.
I was right there.
I mean, it was a trap that we didn't necessarily see coming. We are here. We are here from our employer. I don't think until we solicit more of a personal visit with him that he would appreciate having his name given away. We are here on behalf of our employer to help deal with the rat problem.
I know of the rats.
We encountered one of their hideouts on
Now,
behalf
very
of...
quickly, because you two have been in town, you've been on the Cryostone. This morning news came in that Yovi's estate was attacked last night, and they are blaming it on the rats. The only other pieces of news that you guys would be aware of is that there are gnolls in the Black Forest. We talked about the animals to the south. But those were the biggest pieces of news. Sorry to cut you off, Shellshire. Please continue.
We got a lead from the pyre in Black Hollow, and we went to Yovi's estate. He was known to be a rat. So our two companions went in there looking to investigate and potentially put him down, as he was a main target. Things got a little hectic inside and got split up. They weren't able to come out to meet us, so we went in to try and help them. I guess they were prepared. There was I believe he's a halfling or something of the sort, and he's the one that had that power that I was talking about, Kisk.
I see.
He's able to jump between forms. My armor was just a little bit too much for him, and he kept dodging me.
Very stabby little guy.
While you're talking, it's about this point. I sigh heavily, and with my left arm, I throw my cloak back over both shoulders. And it's at this point that you realize, I'm missing my arm about halfway down the forearm. There's an inscribed band wrapping around, keeping this cloth wrapping, covering the stump, and hanging like a cross bag is a bag of holding. I flip it open, pull out this folding stool, and with the assistance of a flame-colored mage hand, I unfold it, set it down. Sorry. Seemed like a bit of a story, innit? A lot of information for sending.
This is just for you two, really. This is just kind of catching you up to the situation we're in. A-Rod did a lot of work. We almost got Ilvi, but he managed to evade us. A trap fell on AC and A-Rod, and they burned to death. We managed to collect some of their things, and we gave chase, but just when we thought we found him, there seemed to be a hidden door, and he was hidden. Heard some sound inside that sounded like the loading of a ballista, something of the sort. And Kerr advised that we don't go. I normally would have wanted to finish the job, but I do feel like Kerr made the best choice in not continuing.
I look over at him. Kind of ironic that the 4-month-old was the smart one in there.
I mean, we just lost 2 friends. As far as I'm aware, Ilvi owes me a debt.
You want to pay him a visit?
Not really. Not now, at least. Especially not now.
He's on his guard.
Mm.
So, at this point, we emerged from the sewers on the shore, a little ways outside of Black Hollow. We made some impromptu graves, and we came here. Our friends have been dead less than 48 hours. So, along with that, we've encountered something a little harrowing along the way. 2 of our, presumably it's our friends, I honestly can't be certain, are being effectively held hostage by someone with illusions of grandeur. They're aiming to become a Lich, or that's what I understand, and they're a druid. I don't know if that's even possible, but for the sake of it, we're going back to Milscar to rescue our friends, to deal with this Lich. And that's where you come in. I know you have no ties to us. You have no ties to the twins. But that's where we're headed. If you're done with it, I'm a little done losing friends. I want this druid's head on a fucking platter.
Well, it's a noble cause for sure. If someone's in need, I would be happy to help.
And what say you?
I say I have no problem sharing the load with you.
And
Ready?
Of course,
Be an adventure, eh?
of course, we will talk to our employer. He was paying us fairly handsomely. We had about 300 platinum apiece on the way. So everything is going to be split basically in quarters.
Evenly. Yeah.
We do usually have access to some resources in terms of getting around, but at the moment our paperwork was lost with our friend AC. So that's why I would like to contact our employer. Otherwise, if for any reason you feel it's not worth your time, feel free to disband and go your own way. I won't hold anything against you.
Especially considering things are going to get worse down the road.
I'll put my hand on Salazar's shoulder and just say, "Hey, I'm sorry you lost your friends. I'm with you here. We're gonna rescue those 2."
Thank you. Something else that you should be aware of. One thing, Sparkweaver, correct?
Yeah.
I noticed you have a out of character. Sorry, was the clock the timekeeper Sparkweavers?
No, it's just on the wall because you guys are
Okay.
downstairs with no window, so it's just a way to let people know what time it is. That's all.
I'm going to let you know that I do come from Yun, and this is what I actually am. And I'll lift the veil, so to speak. I've given myself the gift of unlife. No surprises.
Still
No
not sure
secrets.
if I would call it a gift.
Now I
saves a
know why
lot
you
on
didn't want the
motion.
sausage.
Slightly unbalanced. I lean forward and I move as if to rest like both elbows on my knees, but I only have one, so like and I adjust.
I'll pull the. Yeah.
Knowledge.
It's a fairly, I would like to say, fairly common practice in Yun.
Yes or no?
You can make an arcane check in Sim if you want. Or history.
I'm still asking, but I'll make the check as well.
Doesn't change anything for me. I'm still
This
with you.
time,
I did not expect to be rolling this quickly.
We're just 40 minutes in.
Not one.
Casually. This
That
quickly.
one. This is
Recap.
this is
What did you
a
get?
7.
A 7?
8.
An 8.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, you would be aware, like, yeah, this happens in Yun, but... Yeah, it's a good question to ask.
Are you a lich?
Sorry, I'm eating my sausage.
I'm not. As far as I'm aware, Lichdom involves putting your soul into a phylactery.
And I like do this with one hand being
The mage hand.
actual flame, so it like halfway passes through.
It's like clips.
Yeah. I can share the road.
Well, basically, until I can find someone who can use sending magic, maybe twice, I want to say.
I do. I mean, I can give you do 100 words. You must take 4 times, but can be done.
If you don't mind, I can even reimburse you the cost of gold if need be. First
I'll never
one,
say no to money.
the first one will be to the Archdruid Zap in Fey Pond.
Wizard.
What did I say, sir?
You said
You
druid.
said Archfey. Or Druid.
The Archwizard Zap in Fey Pond.
Tell me what you can. I'll see what I can do.
Sorry, out of character. Tell you what I can about like him, or just my message.
You can make a history check as well here in the sim, just because he is a
Yeah.
notable character
Yeah.
given your profession.
Okay, that's much better. That's a 16.
16. You've actually met Zap once.
Okay.
When you have been here for a little bit. It actually wasn't even this. He came to Sigwolf at some point, some like 15 years ago, back when you were just still quite young. It was one of the
You're
only.
talking Zacharias, yes?
Yes. We bought an item
You
from
can-
him enough. Hoping
Tell
he could-
me 25 words?
Zap, it's Selshar. We were attacked and lost a tower. Is there a way we can get it back?
As you're
Can't
saying
go.
this, I pause for a second. I could try to locate it.
We know where it is.
Oh, you just want it summoned. Okay. So I send along the message.
Okay, it was definitely less.
I was gonna say,
What do
can't
you
go
say exactly? Like, is it word for word that, or anything you add?
Word for word. I'm writing it down as he's saying it, and then I repeat it word for word what he says.
Yeah, so it's like, can't, any way to summon it, can't go in person.
I do say, instead of it's Salashar, I say from Salashar,
Ah.
but that's the only correction to his message that I make.
They lost it? Why would they do that? Get it back? I guess I'd have to walk there, or just use the rune to summon it. You know, the thing that doesn't exist. Tell him he's fucked.
Sorry, bruv. Says you're fucked.
Then you get another message from Zap, and it goes, "And since when can you do this? I haven't seen you in forever. Last I saw you, you come by Fay Pond, we should have a drink. You seem to have grown."
Has been quite a while. Have quite a few stories for you, both good and bad. Come by close
The
enough,
sending
I'll
message?
be sure to say hello.
Walnuts.
So I'm just gonna, like... I'm gonna flip to a day planner and add, 3 months forward. Make sure to meet up with Zap in Fay Pond. Just a random date 3 months forward.
Okay.
Let's say we take a trip back through the back entrance of the sewers.
I don't know about that.
I mean, there's gonna be 4 of us.
And there's gonna be like, yeah, that's gonna be heavily guarded now.
I doubt. I very much doubt they're gonna guard the back entrance of the sewers.
They know we know about it.
We walked for a couple hours afterwards, in the pitch black.
But they know that we know that there's an entrance. I would guard the living hell out of it.
Considering their
Especially
profession.
so soon after.
I actually think soon after is the point that they wouldn't think we were going to attack. I mean, we lost 2 party members. We're not anywhere strong enough to face him again. He felled effectively 2 of us.
And besides, by now, they've found both the bodies. They've claimed whatever we didn't grab.
There's an off chance that location magic would work if they had given it to a runner. Sold it somewhere.
No,
Maybe
I
we'll try
think
that after.
more likely it would be put into a vault or treasure room or something like that.
Anyways,
It's just a bad idea. It's a good thought, but
we spent a lot of money on it, and
yeah.
it saves us from having to sleep on the side of the road. Completely impenetrable, or for the most part.
If
The
you
next message.
truly want to do it, fine, but I say at least take a night to think about it. That's just really, really dangerous.
I'm not usually impulsive. I do have a lot of time behind me. The only impulsivity is wanting Ilvi's head. But the next message, if you will. This is going to Matthias Millsworn.
Can I make a knowledge check to see if I know him?
Yep. You'll know his face even if not just because of who he is and your connection to certain things. We'll find out what you know about him, but you would recognize his face. I don't know, you
18.
followed the politics a little bit, especially with an 18. You would be aware of how long he's been in office. You would be aware of who his son is. You would know who his son is dating. So you would even know, like, he's been running around with 2 archaeologists that are probably the 2 twins that this man is now mentioning to you. You've kept close little tabs on most of these people.
You say you want to look for this tower? Hmm?
Yes.
Proposition.
Okay.
We're traveling together.
Mm-hmm.
I had an accident a little over a year ago. Spellbook was damaged and I lost certain spells.
Mm-hmm.
If you find a scroll of any of the housing variety, I'll add it to my book. Cast it every night for us.
It would save us.
And I want to come back here. Want to be here, in Black Hollow on the 9th, watch the voting. If you're still with me, try to locate your tower.
Okay.
Sounds to me that things are a bit
Black
hot.
Hollow. Yeah, Black Hollow isn't a good place for us
Give
to
it time to dim.
In that case, we'll just keep moving forward. For Matthias. Her and I survived an attack. Out of character, sorry, what was the name of this town? Not Black Hollow, Black
Timber.
Timber. Thank you.
Yeah, it's 6 words.
We were in Black Timber. Lost paperwork. Need to go back to Millsguard.
You have 5 left.
Please advise.
Please advise. Okay, you get the response back. Well, that doesn't sound ideal. Can you find a way to teleport back? If you can pay for it up front, I can pay you back when you arrive. Return as quickly as you can. Did anyone see you?
I relay this word for word, saying it out loud as I'm getting the message.
No one saw us, as far as I know.
Yeah, we were seen. The halfling gnome, whatever he is, saw us. Some of the guards saw us go in.
Fair.
Lots of people saw us outside.
All right.
How much does a teleport cost?
It's fairly expensive as far as I'm aware.
Very expensive.
People in town saw us. Guards. Rats. Unsure of teleport. We will try.
You want me to cast this again?
If you don't mind.
Okay. Teleport will try. Da, da, da. You got it. Very well. Hope to see you soon.
Oh.
Try not to die as well. And that's all he says.
Would I know of anybody in town selling scrolls of magical knowledge?
For just spells in general, or do you want to just list various magic institutes that you are aware of in here?
The place where I'd be most likely able to buy spell scrolls.
The two that you would know is there is a Fire Traveler here, which is one of the places with the teleportation circle upstairs, ready to go, and usually they have a couple of things here and there. There is also a newer college that has been founded, and they usually have more odds and ends and things like that. Definitely a place where like a lot of wizards go to hone their skills, as well as it also doubles like a place for craftsmen and stuff like that. It's like an art college is what I'm describing.
Do I know of the cost of a teleport here?
It's usually about 100 to 200 gold per person. Kind of depends on when you ask. It's supposed to be standardized, but you know, sometimes it fluctuates a bit. You also use the special privileges based on who you are and where you're going, which would also account to why sometimes you're only charged as much as you are.
Yeah. Well, if you want to buy we want to look and see if we can find a spell scroll. Fortunately, I am broke at the moment.
I have one you can have.
Diamond dust, not cheap. You know? People hear that you want ink for spell stuff, 5 times more immediately.
Guess you could say they charge you an arm and a leg, huh?
Yeah.
I
You'll
make
fit
that
in, big
sound
guy.
with prestidigitation. Where do you think I lost it?
Not certain how much sending costs.
I just assumed it like was the same with me, and it looked at you wrong, so you cut it off.
What's this now?
Oh, the tip of my tail. It kind of looked at me wrong, so I cut it off.
It's strange.
Alright then.
I'm going to fish around my bag. I'm gonna pull out 30 platinum. I don't know how much your magic is worth. I'll just like hold out the 30 platinum.
It takes, like, the first time I go to grab it with the arcane hand, and for a second it, like, passes through, and then it turns solid and picks it up, and you hear crackling flames as it does, so it's quite warm as it pulls the coins from your hand. Now this I appreciate.
I mean, you did just spend a lot of resources to help kind of connect the dots for us.
Just years of practice, bit of a headache. Otherwise, not bad, innit?
All right. So I think if there is a way, do you know of any teleportation circles around here?
Upstairs.
Do you think that
One person
might-
usually depends on who's working.
Do you think it'll be like the one that Matthias had us use, Kurt?
Aren't they all the same? Are they different? I don't
Maybe
know
it's
these
owned
things.
by the same practitioner? Wizard? Company?
Guild?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe we can have it basically paid to Matthias or charged to him.
Just for fun, you can make an
Without
arcane check
paperwork?
or a history check, anyone that's trained in it.
I mean, without paperwork, doubtful, but we could ask.
I mean, I do have an insignia. So, I mean, worst case scenario, I just pay up front.
24. 24 arcane.
24 arcane.
So, here's one of the dumbest things that you guys are aware of. There are two main magic companies, the Fire Travelers and the Cash's Goldhide. Zafrias actually is part of the Fire Traveler, and they are a group of wizards that are trying to control sending spells, recording sending spells, and teleportation to track where people go, and they're almost seen as like a bit of a forming CIA. The other one is Cash's Goldhide, which is someone that is really into enchanting, and there's like secret wizard wars that like people whisper about because of this. So you have the forming of Wizard CIA fighting with basically Walmart. There's more to it than that.
Wizard Walmart.
But with a 24, like this is like the conspiracy theory that like you guys are starting to touch upon. Just so you're aware.
Well, if they're fast, Fire Travelers Guild upstairs probably best bet in it.
Let's check in.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt to ask at least.
And that
Well,
way
it
we
could
can also.
if there anything like Zap, but
Just one last thing, just to make sure that this was clear. This also means that if you are by a Fire Traveler and you send a sending spell, there are rumors that it is recorded if it's spoken in a certain distance in some of these places. Just so you know. With your 24. Can't confirm or deny it, but that's what some people say.
Not my information, I don't care. I don't even bother mentioning it.
Okay, fair enough.
Alright, I say we go upstairs. Then maybe.
You want to give me a minute? I can pack. Maybe we can even leave today.
Let me get my card outside.
That might be hard to take.
It's coming with us.
Picks it up.
Yeah, it's
I think I can help with that. Let me pack. I'll follow you out.
So I'll kind of like walk up the stairs and I'll just kind of wait at the top of the stairs for Spark to pack everything up.
Okay.
I hold open my bag of holding, and my flying familiar cat like starts picking up items around the room and dropping it in the bag, and my floating mage hand grabs other things and throwing them in. Just heave ho here everything into the bag. Then I go follow the half-orc with the good meads.
Okay. This sim follows you guys out in a little bit of time after you hear a little bit of ruckusing around, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You guys are all gathered outside of Stumper's Son Stump.
Actually, while we're waiting, just to be like, so when we have a few minutes longer than we have right now, we should have private conversation away from that pyre. I've had a couple ideas I want to bounce off you just in private later on.
Okay. I'm thinking that I'm going to reach in under my armor and just going to pull out the scroll to my patron, and I'll see if there's anything written.
There is a message, and it just says, basically it just says check back, but it's written in, let me get this word for word. So the last thing you said is you were just kind of asking questions, correct?
Yeah, asking about like the Lichdom and everything.
Okay. So the message reads back, and it says, dawn of an eternal life is usually noticed. I'll set my eyes far, come back on the next dawn. But dawn, it's written in a weird that it looks like it's been changed in a way or two. Can you quickly make, like... You know thieves can't? Or what languages do you speak?
Common, Elvish, Infernal, Abyssal, Orcish, and Draconic.
Abyssal. You would be aware, like, one of the characters that's used in Dawn here is from the Abyssal alphabet. And when it's been used this way in the past, being as this is who you work with, he's basically saying the next dawn of something important. Something's coming. When you see it, you'll know. And then I'll be able to tell you more. Is basically the meaning behind this. But you're also aware, like, sometimes there's extra meanings in these if you've written this down and you have time to look over it.
I have not.
Good luck,
had a
have fun.
Can I get God to write that so I can write it down?
Yes, I will send that in the group chat.
Thank you, God.
While I'm doing this, please continue. Where are you guys headed next?
As soon as Spark is done, we'll head upstairs, presumably.
Carrying my card upstairs.
Ugh. Let me help with this one. Step back a bit, Bob. Oh, my shoulder is back. Crack my knuckles against my mage hand. And then, slight muttering in primordial, I tap the card and cast Reduce.
Ooh, that's a nifty trick.
Nice moving house, real easy.
I bet. It's good to have you around. I'll pick up the little mini cart. How small does it actually get?
It goes to half its size.
Ooh, okay, that helps.
It'll only be a minute.
Better get upstairs now. Start, like, running upstairs.
Just booking it.
Yeah, with my card under my arm, like,
Could, out of curiosity, because there is a size specification on bags of holding, could you take the half-size cart and throw it in the bag, and then deal with the consequences later? Or would it immediately eject it?
I'm pretty sure it gets immediately ejected if it's at capacity.
Yeah.
Well, it does reduce its weight by half.
Yes.
Capacity is also 500 pounds.
So,
Now, getting it out is the problem.
being a big boy, it's very easy for you to just tank through these people and get outside. And as you like make it outside,
Like carrying a bomb, you're like,
Well, get inside. I would have waited until he has the cart, like, just outside of Stumperson's.
and then shrink it for a minute.
And then shrink it down and let's go up to the Fog Travelers Guild.
Okay. The Fire Travelers is a little ways from here. It's actually set at the dead center of this town.
I thought it was up at the top of Stumpers.
No. They're two very different buildings. One is
Well,
lovely lumberjack fey alt jazz joint.
I'll do it outside of whichever building the Fog Travelers Guild is in.
Okay.
I'll just manifest my echo and let my echo carry it.
All right. So if you guys are heading to the Far Traveler, then correct?
I believe we're heading up the stairs with a shrunken cart.
Or any other stops you want to make before you get there?
I think that's kind of it.
Okay. Then that case, easy enough to find. This one, it's actually built. Let me double check this one. Got it. Okay, so this Far Traveler, it's actually, again, because of the artsy thing, it's almost looks like a tower that kind of spirals its way up. It's just like a single post with a staircase that goes around it, and at the top there's an office, and above that, next to this, it's almost like a helicopter pad where they've set this out, and then it has a bunch of cloth things draping around it, as well as hanging down from this. They have, it almost looks like scrolls that are hanging from them. And Nissim, if you have read these, it's actually a bunch of poems about spells and wizards. Each kind of tendril tells a little story.
Yeah, I would have read them when I first showed up.
But you guys can take your way on up into here.
I'm also gonna like make sure to like cover up my lack of my cloak.
Cool. Tiny looking elf looking there. Looks like he has quite a few books around him. He has one kind of like floating off to the side, and he has another one in his hand. And as you guys walk in, you see he actually has like an arcane eye that like looks up and looks towards you guys. And he speaks without taking his nose out of the book, and he just goes, 4 of you, shopping, traveling, what can I do?
We're actually looking for a teleportation circle to Milscar.
Come to the right place. I can definitely get one of those set up for you.
We're actually under the
A
employ
minute.
of... Sorry?
Less than a minute. Look out.
We're actually under the employ of Matthias Milsworn, and I was hoping we'd be able to charge this to him.
I'll need to check my records for that. Do you have any paperwork?
Unfortunately, all I have is my pin. Actually, just tried to contact him with sending, and he advised that we just take a teleportation circle.
I'm afraid you'll have to pay out of pocket then, won't you? 10,000 gold in total for all of you.
No.
It's a rather good price. I could maybe go as low as 8 if you happen to... He just kind of looks at you guys as if he's trying to read, as if you're going to offer anything. No?
What kind of book is he reading?
Huh?
What kind of book is he reading?
Make a perception check.
18.
18. You being a wizard would recognize this. It's actually written in a cipher of a very well-known wizard. It's almost like a biography of a wizard written by a wizard as a fan piece. So it's like metafiction upon metafiction about this guy's metafiction. And the name in this book, it literally just says the Mage of Mages.
Do I get the feeling like this would be a man that would be interested in the sort of literature I'm into?
Probably not. Like, this is like... He's basically like reading like Ulysses for the sake of reading Ulysses. You know, he's an intellectual trying to be intellectual more than anything else.
I'll give you 1,000.
1,000? 5,000. That's half price.
1,500, considering that we're on pyre business, and I point at
At this point, the kite like just explodes in the center of the room. Jesus Christ. Luckily, there's enough room in this for the kite to fit. Wouldn't have fit through the doorway, but once inside, it does just kind of sit there.
Deal with that when we leave.
Working with Pyres and for Matthias. We're just trying to get over there and
Tell you
collect
what,
ourselves.
I can do the 1,500, but there's weight restrictions. The keg will have to stay.
Aw, the cart.
It's quite alright, and will we be able to leave within a moment?
Well, I need to prepare the spell, but let me repeat that again. The keg will have to stay.
Alright. I'll pull off the keg. Walk it over. It's really good ale.
Oh, I look forward to it.
Just pours it in my bag.
Oh. I see why. Oh, okay. Never mind.
It's called honeysuckle.
I pat you consolingly on the back with my mage hand from across the room.
I'll like put my hand on your mage hand. Thank
it's quite
you.
warm.
It helps. It helps.
Well,
At least I get to keep the cart.
please step right this way. And he's going to step around this little podium. It's supposed to be a desk, but it's far too slender to really hold anything of note, and that's why when he walks, this book just follows around behind him. Tucks the other book away, and the arcane eye also just goes back towards the door. He looks back over and he says a command word, and you see like a mouth just kind of like forms on the podium. In case anyone else comes in, Nick can greet for me. Opens the door to this open area, and he just step to the side and move your cart and just patience. It'll take me about 10 minutes.
You got it.
And
And
he goes around setting this up and pulls out, seems to be a flask of something, and what comes out is like this weird little sparkly sort of thing that some of you would probably recognize as diamond dust. Most of this ritual is actually already completed. The circle is already there. He's mostly just adding in an address, and once in a while he looks over to this book and looks like he checks a reference, and as he's doing this he is giving you a safety briefing. And please keep your arms inside at all times, and close your eyes if you get motion sickness. Buckets are usually on hand. If you hear anything, it's important you don't cross them. Kind of drawls on for a while. Eventually he does instruct all of you. Please step inside. Yes, small child.
Actually, I'm not paying any attention to this because while he's setting this all up, I'm going to cast Contain Object on the cart.
Okay. Does it have a material component that you have on hand?
You know what? I don't have the spell handy.
I believe if it's the one I wrote, I believe it requires a scroll to put the object in.
Which I do have, because I bought 2 of them and I only used 1.
Alright, well, as long as you're willing to give up the scroll for it.
I have plenty more energy for this.
Oh, I got it. Don't worry about it.
Alright.
Just wait until I'm done. It's neat.
So about
Kinda.
the time that this guy says, please step forward, you guys watch as like this cart just kind of gets pulled into this scroll, and as it's getting pulled in, you can see it's almost like atomizing, and it's turning into like black ink that's splattering across this page, and the ink kind of like crawls together, and it forms its own little identity, its own little signature, and its own little image as to what is contained within it, and the arcane power words required to release it from this scroll.
I wish I ran into you guys months ago.
It is handy, but
I appreciate it very much, little dragon man. Tap you on the back.
I'll take it. Yep. Here's your scroll cart, or cart
It's not very
scroll.
often I'm called a dragon. I will take that.
Again, thank you very much.
Alright. That you guys all sort yourself into the little circle that he's made. Again, he just repeats the rules once or twice. If you guys want, please feel free to make a con save. If you've done this before, you can make it with advantage. Or if you don't think you'll puke because you don't eat, you're probably fine. But if you want to, I'll make it up if you fail. I got time.
What
can
about
I-
if it's a spell I used to cast a lot?
You're probably fine.
Can
Anyone
I
rolling? Add 4.
4.
can I use a help action to help Curry and just like center him? You got this, little buddy. Deep breaths.
Did you roll with advantage there, Cole?
No,
No, you can roll with advantage if you want it.
I
What did you
don't
get,
still
Kiss?
need it, but
23.
Okay.
That's at 2. Is that what you're gonna say, Justin?
no, 29.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, well,
My dude.
No, wait. Sorry, I fuck. Still high, but not quite that high.
I fuck. Yes, okay, I bet you do.
25.
25, alright. So, similar to the last description, where everything rushes in and you guys see the space between space, and in this place, you don't really have much. I said they have a little bit of canvas out here for a little bit of shade, but the circle itself is mostly outside. So instead, it just feels like you're being ripped into the sky more than anything else. And as that's happening, you are the thing that's actually stretching instead of being squashed to the point that you're impossibly thin. And if you've seen, like, Galaxy Quest, when they, like, come out of the teleporter, they're just, like, shaking, like, Jesus Christ. It's basically that, is you basically just get spaghettified, you see flashes of color going past you, you're vaguely aware of just the world being different in, like, just, like, this blink of an eye, and suddenly you're just, doof, you appear within another place. And there's actually, it's the one you left at. It's much darker. The ambient light in here is blue, and there's a few buckets, one in each corner of this room, and then a staircase that goes down. But besides that, there's no one else in here.
I text out and Janet, and I just. Spine always feels loose. And I just walk out. Got my familiar following behind me.
Oh. I guess we go talk to Matthias. Get ourselves sorted. Sit down and get down for the night.
This will be a pleasant conversation.
Should I be scarce?
No. I think
Well,
considering...
only if he asks you to.
But considering that you're going to be joining us for the next while, he may want to, I think it's pertinent that he knows you. He meets you at least.
Little less join, little more travel with.
As I said, the door is open anytime you wish.
Well, let's go meet this man.
Alright.
Okay, so you guys make your way out of the Fire Traveler. The guy does recognize you as you come by, and he just gives you a pleasant little wave to Cole and Shalashan. He sees the other two, and he gets like this like a little bit of a confused look, and he's just like,
Hey, no, don't ask.
Hello.
"Have a good day.
You too.
You need anything? Thanks for traveling with the Fire Traveler. Hope your travels take you far."
Fuck you.
I'm required to say that.
What a nice
Got
man.
a catchphrase now.
Did you
I
guys
like him.
come out into the town of Milska? Same time zone, as they are both along the coast here. So it is still like getting close to about 2 p.m. You guys have traveled almost a third of the continent. Just the blink of an eye, and suddenly you're down here. Air is a bit fresher here. For some reason, it doesn't have as much various other things that you didn't realize was in the air back there, but now that you're here, you're like, there was something in the air there. Something was off. The buildings here, again, you have the blue roofs, and this place is relatively close onto the sky. And actually, as you step out from where you are, you could already see Matthias's estate. The other thing, Shalasha, that you would notice that's different is you can actually see very large walls looming in various parts. Weren't here before. Looks like the defenses have been upped, and Matthias did indeed build his wall that was making him a coward.
Alright. I'll walk towards the main gates and see if I can see any guards. Draw attention to myself.
Sure enough, like, some of them do see you. One of them walks up and he's like, "Hi, do you have any business?" And the other one kind of like nudges him, and he goes, "Heavily on figure dragon, you know who it is." And he goes, "Oh shit, you're... I assume you're here for Matthias."
Yes, we contact him via sending, and he advised that we take a teleportation circle.
"I will let him know you arrived, please." And he steps to the side to allow you guys into this compound. And again, it's a big mansion. It has this big wrought iron fence around the entire thing. It's a lot more rectangular though than anything else, and the potions that you're looking at are a little weird. This gentleman goes in, comes back rather briefly. As soon as he gets inside, he says something, and then so he doesn't really return to you guys. He just kind of like gestures you to follow. And he waits
Give him a
at the
quick
door.
nod and keep walking forward.
I know you've been here before. Your other two, though, joining as well, meeting. Do you guys need anything?
Yes.
Drinks? Water? Food?
Drinks and food would be just great.
I can definitely
They're,
have something prepared.
They're recent acquisitions, partners, friends on the road.
Kisk, nice to meet you. And I'll hold out my hand.
He'll shake your hand and he goes, unfortunately, I'm not allowed to give out my name. And to give a bit of description of these guys, you see he's actually wearing a veil that completely hides his face.
Well, that's understandable.
But it is nice to meet you.
You as well, my friend.
He leads you guys through this. Not much has really changed for you, Shalasha and Kola. The other two to give you a bit of a reminder as to what this place is like. It is mostly deep brown woods. Everything is rather polished. The walls as well. It's all beautifully paneled, but also starkly plain, boring. It's nice material. It's good quality, but it has few decor. It's almost gets drab by the time you hit the second room and into the third room, which is the meeting room. It has the very large table that you guys have been at before. Matthias still looks a little more bedraggled than last time. His beard isn't completely cleaned up and he has a few loose hairs sticking out here and there as if he hasn't shaved for a little bit. But he is still wearing, his uniform is pressed. He still has the blue vest on that he had last time, indicative of the roofs, and he also has a nice rapier tucked into his side. Presentable, but maybe doesn't have all of his I's dotted and T's crossed. As you come in, he just stands up from the chair that he's leaning against, waves towards the guard, and the guard whispers to you guys, I'll be right back with the food. And he takes his leave. And Matthias just kind of hold his hands out to the side. He goes, take a seat, if you wish.
Oh, yes, please.
Matthias, Kerr and myself, did you receive some messages from us before about not going to Black Hollow?
I did, but I still need to go. Who are these two?
We actually met them in a town just by Black Timber.
I am Nissim Sparkweaver. I sent the messages.
And this one,
I'm Kisk the Butcher.
Kiss the Butcher. Well, please do take a seat, but I am going to, and he moves a couple of chairs away from you two. I see my guards let you keep your weapons, but unfortunately we are just meeting, so a bit of space would be preferred.
Of course, I'm used to it.
Told me 2 people died, you show up with 2 strangers. I'm thankful for your quick response and everything like that, but everything's moving rather quickly, wouldn't you say?
I was promised food.
You'll be here very soon. It's
Ooh,
a
fantastic.
couple of rooms over and maybe a bit of preparation. Should it be more than 10?
Oh, thank you very much for your hospitality.
Matthias, to go over everything, I'm sure you heard of the little panic that happened in Black Hollow.
Oh, I've heard. Same with the Scryer Stones. The news has already reached us down to here.
Kerr and I helped quell the uprising, the little problem. We were approached, and we were asked to take out Ilvi. the halfling, there was some thought that he was one of the rats. So, AC and A-Rod went to go investigate his
So
matter.
it was you that attacked and not the rats. And I'm assuming that that's where those two died, to kind of connect these dots.
Yes.
And then I'm
Ilvi
assuming you
is one of
escaped
the rats.
somehow, you ran into these two, you came back with haste.
Yes.
Have you told anyone else? Have you been seen there? My paperwork, everything that ties you back to me, where is it? Who had it?
I believe AC had it, but I think she may have gotten rid of it.
You
There
think?
wasn't. Did you see anything on her body, Kerr?
I
You're
think you're
muted.
muted.
Still muted.
You're muted.
Sorry. She was a charred husk. Like, her
Anything-
skin was sloughing off. I don't think the papers would survive that fire.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss, but that is reassuring at least.
We
When
were,
they
however,
went-
seen.
When they went to investigate, I held a bit of an impromptu, like a food party outside to draw a bunch of attention, keep eyes off the two of them. And then
Don't really care much about the details other than the final ending. I knew
Well, we were-
Assie's family. I've already had it written that they will be compensated for their loss. A-Rod's family, he also died in my service. Does he have any remaining family? And if so, how could we get in contact with them?
He's got a dad.
his dad was in Bolar's camp when we eliminated Bolar. I'm not certain how close his father was to him, but A-Rod and his father may have had a bit of rocky history. I
Okay,
don't know
well,
this-
what about things he stood for? Charities. We're gonna make a donation.
He loved to drink, and he loved his bow and he loved his drink.
We'll look into it. Next question, then. That's been dealt with. We've moved on. I don't mean to be quaint, but next step. What are you thinking?
I was thinking about going back to deal with Ilvi, but we've come to the conclusion that it's too soon. The Pyres, we've given them a lot of information, and they're following up on the rats. But the twins who were traveling with your son,
Where are
I
they?
don't need to hear any more about that.
there is something we need to take care of nearby in the
Oh,
forest.
trust me, Nikolai has been... I haven't seen him for a week now.
Oh, great.
That's where we're heading now.
Came in, he passed word, and... I
And
guess...
let me guess. You don't know where the twins are.
I don't know where the twins are, no, but we did hire someone to help. It's a little under wraps, if this is where you wish to look. I could point you in their direction.
I would like to go as soon as possible.
Good. I'm fine with that, if it will mean my son's able to clear his head and get back here. Task after that, where are you going? Armonia Black Hollow. I need to make sure it's safe there, but I would also like to see the city rise, especially if I'm voted in, so I need to know who I'm delegating where.
What
Black
would you
Hollow is
prefer? Would you
safe.
like us? Black Hollow was a little.
Our contract was always open-ended, Shalashar. I'm still unsure about you, your capabilities, and I expect you to tell me where you fit in. It's usually how you work best, and the strongest people working towards their strengths instead of me dictating to a stranger.
Yeah, of course.
I pay the gold, you tell me where you want to go.
Well, it just depends on would you like us to solidify back Black Hollow as a place for you? Why were you headed there to begin with?
The Union, our money,
So that-
the Council. The
Yes.
vote is coming up next month on the 9th. I need to be there.
Then I think we'll
I
head
do
back
not know
to-
about these fellows. I intend to be both at the voting and at Armoni.
Thank you, Pyre, and thank you for your service as well. And he just gives you a nice little bow.
Thank you for yours.
Do
Cancel.
I'll kind of glance over to Kerr. Should we go to Armony and then stake it out, try and ensure that any unrest, if the vote council is going to take place there, it'd probably be the best.
Probably, yeah, that's probably the best choice.
I'm only supposed to fly next month at the end of the month on the 32nd. Is the official day that Zilmir has announced to the world.
For Talawin. I think that's our best plan. We're gonna go look into the twins, reconvene at Armony, and try and ensure everything is ready for your arrival.
Well, that's if I get coronated. First, the vote needs to happen. We need to see what happens. And then, off to there some 23 days later.
Go under heavy guard when you go to Black Hollow.
Oh, I believe it,
Like,
and I'm
you're
not even
bad.
allowed to take a teleportation circle, as there are a couple of other cities and stops we need to make. So it'll be a bit of a procession for me. It's going to be leaving rather soon, actually. It's going to be a bit of a tight schedule.
Matthias, if I may, the rats that we encountered on the Pyre's warship, they seem to have some enchantment over them, and they are unreasonably careful. So don't take only the people you trust implicitly.
Why do you think
Don't
my
take-
beard is uncut? I've done nothing but. And he points over to like the desk in front of him. It's just there's a bunch of papers stacked on top of it, and you see it's a bunch of contracts similar to the one you guys once had. I'll also have a new one drafted for you two. I'm not sure if either of you wish to join in this or not. You can if they vouch for you, but it matters not. If you travel with them, it's the same, but I'll only be paying for these two.
I'll join in with them.
Okay.
Bravely cut.
What is your name? And at this point, like, food does come in, finally.
Oh, I'm like just kind of eating the food and saying it at the same time. Kisk the Butcher.
Kisk the Butcher. No last
Is that
name?
your middle name?
The Butcher. That's the last name.
Fair enough. And you, Pyre, I wouldn't presume you'd want to be in my service, especially if you're already serving the flame, but the offer stands.
Are you willing to accept that the flame is my first duty?
I mean, I would never presume to step over the flame.
I have no problem contracting myself out to you.
And I promise to never directly put you at odds or to ask you to do anything untowards.
I appreciate it.
You should understand that these contracts are binding in payment and a way back to me, but I take no word in the way that things are handled, other than that if you were to die in my service, in the case of Avon and Assy, families will be dealt based on how long they were in our employ, so we have certain benefits and things like that, but besides that, it's mostly you tell me where you want to go, and if things align, you do.
Well, at the moment I wish to look into these aggressive animals you have here. Then I wish to witness the voting and the rising of Aramoni.
Actually, and he actually shuffles through a couple of papers and he like lifts off the tap start, brings out another one, and he quickly pens your guys' names on what seems to be already prepared contracts. We're currently hiring, so I happen to have these on hand. Please sign here and take this copy with you.
I'll like almost halfway sign it to what I think the letters are because I can't actually read. I'm like, okay. Those squiggles look good.
Can I roll insight on his hesitation? Like, can I tell why he's hesitating?
It's obvious to you. You've seen people that can't. You know, you can see he sees his name at the top and he's trying to copy that.
I I use my glove to do 1 point of subtle spell, and I use it to do minor illusion, and put very faint lines.
Oh,
Oh,
so
well,
you can
right, you can
do
look
the
at
dotted
lines
line.
I'll see that and kind of
I
like
love that
Uh,
so
give
much.
like a
This is
yeah,
cool
okay.
paper.
Yeah,
I
this
love-
works. This works.
That's so cute.
Yeah, I just
Alright,
and it little dots help
fantastic.
them out.
Now then, as to my son and where he has been. Do you want a surprise, or do you want me to just lay it all out?
Just laid out.
Okay, well, the twins went missing recently. Matthias has been looking in. There's been some more sightings. We've built the walls. We've doubled the guard. We've gotten a decent perimeter, but we've also had to hire a couple of hunters. One happens to be rather skilled and tracker, and that's about as far as his pedigree goes, and his appearance rather overlooks things. Nicholas is employing a gnoll by the name of Grazkrix. They've been off in the woods now for the last week. Once in a while you can hear that mad thing cackling, and I can only hope that my son is doing okay.
I think I already know where the twins are.
Fantastic, but if you could still gather my son and have him return to me before I leave, I would appreciate that as well. Bonus included.
How long do we have before you leave?
I can push off travel for another 2, maybe 3 days.
We might be back, maybe, if we're lucky.
It's the keep in the middle of the woods.
Well,
It's a bit of a travel, but I think if we take the highway, grab a cart, maybe we can grab a couple horses, make our way out there. We should be able to make it back in relative time.
you
Assuming
sure?
nothing goes awry.
He reaches around his neck and actually pulls off what seems to be a strange looking whistle that's also like carved out of like a finger bone, something like that. It's very reminiscent of your hand, Shalasha, and that's why you have this thought as he holds it out. If you blow into this in the woods, the gnoll will find you, apparently.
I'll take it and wrap around my neck and tuck it in my plate.
In that case, welcome back to the Employer of the Millsworns. Thank you for your contribution.
I'll grab the paperwork and everything and I'll put it in my bag of holding.
I'll try to have a payment sorted if you want it. It's rather short, but for returning, I could maybe give you 2,000 gold.
Kerr paid 1,500 for the teleportation circle. I managed to get it. So, reimbursement of that would be honestly great. Since it is a little short notice, you can hold off payment for a little while till at least we can get Nikolai and the twins sorted.
I would appreciate that, and again, timely manner, all of that. A bonus will be reflected. Thank you for your efforts.
I think realistically we just need to rest a little. I think the Pyre and Kerr are probably a little worn out. Other than that, I'm good to go at least.
Hey, Celishar?
Inflict row
Yeah.
still, correct?
I don't suppose there's a reason to change it.
Fantastic. Alright.
Yes, Kerr?
What do you think the odds are that Yolvi was actually like, part of the rats?
I think fairly likely. Considering Hidden Doors had that artifact, there was an unreasonable amount of defense there. Never mind, there was the hidden door that he went into that said the rats.
Yeah. Matthias, maybe you could... I've got a theory. Could we have, like, a private chat between the three of us just for a few minutes?
There's 4 of you, so whoever you want to kick up is out to you, unless you're including me and the 2 of you.
No, like,
I think
new people, would you mind if we had a private chat just for a couple minutes?
Of
Not at
course
all.
not.
I believe
Thanks,
you
I-
wanted me to look into finding certain spell, make travel a little more comfortable.
Yeah, I believe it was is a tower. Galder's Tower, something to that tune.
I'll find something.
Very well, please. Take your food with you. This shouldn't be long. I have other meetings to attend, so hopefully this is rather quick.
Oh
But
yes, thank you. I'll take the food for sure, definitely. I'll grab a couple muttons and just start chewing them as I'm walking out.
you can
These are
probably
good.
just wait outside or in the courtyard. If you go anywhere else in the house, you will be stopped by the guards, so maybe don't do that.
I'll wait in the courtyard. Just keep eating. Do you want some Spark? You want some?
Come
You
here,
want?
bud. Lure them out of the room with the food.
Got a big piece of mutton here with your name on it.
I've already,
It's what he's
did my
prepared for.
farewell and I'm leaving.
It's,
I figured that was a dismissal when you
That's
guys
nice.
were like, can we have the room? I said I was going to go look for a spell. I went to go look for that spell.
Okay. So you 2 exit out, and you're going to be going around looking. Kisk is going to stay in the courtyard, correct?
Okay, so
what
now
is
that
it?
they're gone, just in the off chance that I happen to be right, I didn't want to be saying this in front of the pyre. And correct me if I'm wrong on any of this. This is a lot of guesswork. Just basically shooting in the dark. To start with, Thingolm originally owned Sigwolf. For
Sigwolf originally owned Fingolm, yes.
other way around? Oh, okay, okay. So Sigwolf originally owned Thingolm.
Correct.
For whatever reason, things went bad there. They decided it wasn't worth the investment, and they sold the ownership papers to Char.
Yes.
And Sigwolf, just as a quick aside, is where the flame is from.
You're burning it up.
Okay. Now, even though Char currently owns Fingolm, Fingolm is saying that no, neither one of your countries have had anything to do with us for a while. We are now our own nation. We've come up with our own weapons, civilization, yada yada yada.
Depends who you ask, but yes.
Now, apparently, Thingolm has come up with some kind of powder or some kind of new weapons that everyone wants.
Black powder.
Fire crystals.
Char, I believe, and obviously, Sigwolf would like to completely own Fingolm so that they can have full access to this. Char, however, in my opinion, seems to be a little bit fractured, if that's the right word.
That is definitely the right word. You have elves that have
Okay.
been alive for God knows how long, and yet still, only now they're building a city for everyone to have a voice.
Okay, and if it was to go, and if it was able to pull itself together into one cohesive nation, it would have a lot more power just because it's now working together, and it might actually be able to actually take over Fingolm.
I mean, if you
Maybe.
believe in fairy tales, where everyone sits around a table and gets along and things move quickly, then yes.
All right, so now we're here. We're starting to get into the major guesswork. We're thinking that Yulvi was actually part of the rats. Yulvi, however, worked for the flame. So this is my thought. Zigwolf might actually possibly be causing a lot of the chaos currently in Char, just to keep it off balance.
Could be possible. It
And-
definitely gave a reason for.
Not only keeping it off balance, but as evidenced by sending the flame into Black Hollow, they could possibly get some more standing or power or pull by fixing the problem.
That could be true, yes.
Now, we don't have any proof of this, but there's a very high chance that Yulvi was actually, at the very least, working with the rats, if not heading them off as, like, the main leader or one of them.
No, that all could very well be possible.
What's the implication? Where do we go from here with that knowledge?
I
As
will.
for you, me, and the group, we don't do anything. This is something, like, way above our heads.
It's definitely something for me to consider. I'm sorry, I do need to run and get to this meeting. I appreciate you bringing this to my attention. You have done the right thing, Cole. You have done the right thing, and I thank you for it. But I need to go.
Quick aside, Matthias is human, right?
Yes.
Hey, Matthias, one last question. What would it mean for the humans exactly if Anima Solus was real and was found? What would they do?
It would give us a chance to say we deserve more than one seat. To say we've been here just as long. That we're not all new.
Would it contribute to this fracturing of Char?
It depends who gets onto the council. As soon as you start mixing people, you can't look at our races. It needs to be individuals. That's why we
So
vote.
it's-
That's why we have union leaders.
Okay, so it's more of a question for later then. Okay. Just wanted to know. Go. I know you're busy. Go do your thing.
No, thank you. Again, you can stay here for as long as you want, but if you try to leave or go anyplace else, you will be escorted from the premises. I apologize. And he turns on his heels, gives you guys like a quick little bow, turning back, turns again for the second time, and makes his way out.
We are in so over our heads.
I think Animal Solace is going to cause colossal fracturing of the races.
Yeah,
As
that's why I'm
someone-
hoping if we can actually save the twins, maybe we can convince them to hold off on the search on that for a while.
As someone who is of elven descent, the things they whisper about humans, they're impatient, they're brash, they only live 100 years, so they used to fuck, fight, and do any weaselly, disgusting thing in that small span of time. They're looked down upon by most of elvenkind. They have this proclivity for self-destruction. They have these horrific tendencies.
As you're having this thought, the guard at the door kind of like clears his throat and opens the door.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Well, we're leaving now. Yeah. Maybe save this for later so we don't insult the guards.
I mean, that's what elves think. I am not of that. I've seen goodness in a lot of people, and like as I'm saying this, I'm going to be walking towards the door.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Animal Solace is real, if it is anything of what it's supposed to be, we're going to be right on the wedge that divides the continent. It might be irreparable.
At this point, you guys make it outside, and Kisk is there.
Hello.
Very quickly, I need to just jump
From
over
secondhand.
to Spellweaver as you've made your way out. What spell are you looking for?
I am looking for any sort of like hut, tower, house, just any one of those summon a house sort of spells.
You could find any of the three. So it could be the sphere, it could be the mansion if you can cast it. Milsko is rather well prepared as there is a Cash's Gold hide here.
Okay. Yeah,
Oddly enough, because of your arcane check, you would be aware that it's like across the street from the Fire Traveler, and their doors face each other.
Just fucking spite, they're like...
beautiful. Beautiful. Okay,
So you
Ooh.
could go to either magic store, by the way, but there is a window, and you would be aware that if you go from one and then directly into the other, usually prices either go up or down drastically.
Yeah. I'm gonna go into the Fire Travelers first. And I'm gonna see what they have in stock for this sort of thing.
This one would have the sphere and the tower.
The spear and the tower.
Yes, as well as quite a few divination spells if that is your sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't want to, like, what do they have for... I got 30 platinum. I can cast up to level 3. No, up to level 4.
Up to level 4.
Goldrin's Tower is a lower level. That one might be the better one to go for.
Sorry. While I'm quickly going through this, what are you three doing? Where are you headed? With the understanding that, depending on where they are from here, they may or may not be far behind.
Realistically, I'd probably try and reconvene with Sparkweaver, if anything. Need to get everyone together, figure out...
You could get the mansion, by the way.
What level is the mansion?
4th level.
4th level?
Private Sanctum. Mordekainen's Private Sanctum.
Private Sanctum... Oh, that just protects from divination, really. I was looking at it before.
Is that what it is? I thought this was the...
secure an area.
Yes,
sounds can't
you are correct. No,
it becomes
are right.
foggy and you're protected from divination, but things can still walk in.
Alright, in that case, you'd be looking at the 3rd level spells, then I believe, in which case you have one, which is the sphere, which stops pretty much everything from getting in, or the tower, which has a bit more amenities, but it is indeed just a tower.
Yeah. Leomund's tiny hut.
You want tiny
Or
hut?
Golden Tower.
I mean, the hut is just dome.
Yeah, they were talking about a tower, so I'm gonna look at the tower.
Okay. It will just be the tower, and you would need to cast it. So you'd be able to designate, and it would work pretty much as expected.
Yeah.
And it would cost, make a persuasion check, we'll say, because I'm kind of blasting you through this, so let's at least give you a roll.
Yep.
Plus Pyre.
18 plus 1. 19.
You could probably do it for the 20 platinum.
For 20 platinum. And then how much would it cost to put it in my book itself?
To transfer it?
Like 10 platinum per level, so 30 platinum?
Did you want to take a quick intermission after this?
100.
We only have half an hour left, so I thought we would just play for the last half an hour and end it at the 2 hour 30 mark. Because I asked in Discord if you guys wanted a break to let me know, but now we're at the last half hour, so to take a half hour break and then come back for half an hour less than that actually would be a little silly. Fair?
Because it's 100 gold per level to put it in the
Yes.
book, right? 3rd level.
So you would need
300
another 30.
Yeah.
So, do you want it?
I'll tell give me a moment, I need to meet up with some friends.
Alright.
See what they think.
Easy enough, as I said from the first travel, you could see each other, so you guys walk out, they walk out, it's the happy friends moment.
I'm gonna go right across over to Cash's Gold Hide.
You see Nassim leave one store and go directly to the other, so you would know where they're at. Make a persuasion check, because I assume you're doing the same thing here.
Yep. I'm telling them, well, they were offering it 15. That's what I'm telling them. It's a 1.
Well, that's because they're fools and they don't know how to charge anything. I'm afraid it's 40.
Unfortunately, I can't afford that. Just came over from Sigwolf. A little too rich.
A little too rich indeed.
I'm gonna walk out and I'm gonna see you guys.
Hello.
Any luck?
Going to be picking up the spell. It'll take me a bit of materials to practice, learn it, perfect my own variation. Be able to figure it out eventually.
I mean, it'll beat sleeping on the side of the road, I'll tell you that.
It'll just depend on how long it takes me. Study is process. Do you want to follow?
I think a question is, do we want to rest in town? I'm assuming you used a bit of your energy casting all the spells. We are on a bit of a time crunch. So did you want to rest in town? Did you want to rest on the road?
Slight headache. Take me a while to be able to cast this.
I think we should head out in the morning.
Probably need to grab rations or something for the road, right?
I got you covered. And I'll hold up the dead rabbits that are on my side.
I'm still good on rations. I'm kind of thinking about putting in an order for some new armor, though.
Yeah, I mean... Do you have much gold on you still?
I've been saving up enough for plate. Of course, with the way we travel, I'm not sure if when we'll be back.
That's the problem. That's exactly why I had to go through such a convoluted process with Zap.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if we talk to Matthias and see if he can get someone on the case for it. Maybe he can go through his routing, his hands, you know?
Maybe. You know what? I'll just put it in order and worry about the rest of it later.
Okay. Where would you like to put this order in, and do you want something useful? Like, what's your price range here? And while you consider this correctly, are you buying the spell in Sim?
Yeah.
Alright, in that case, 20 platinum to get it, another 30 to learn it, so...
I do not have the 30 for that.
Okay, but you do have the scrolls, so you'll need to figure that out. Cole,
Yep.
go ahead. Where do you want to go? How much do you want to spend? What do you want it to kind of look like? You can also give me a more detailed description later, and I can come up with something for you if you need more time to think.
Well, I was just going to go to the only armor that I actually know in town, which is the elf that Salashar went to.
Fantastic. In that case, he sees you, he greets you, he does recognize you.
Hey, I've been saving up for some plate, and I finally have
Huh?
enough to actually buy some.
Saw what I did for your friend, did you?
Well, yeah, you do good work. Thing is, I don't need something like flashy and fancy like he does. It just needs to be
Fuck you.
functional, really.
Just functional? No
Yes.
flair, nothing?
I don't really need any.
I mean, there is beauty in the mundane.
Well, yeah. Have you ever made armor for someone my size, though?
Of course I have.
Oh, okay.
Loads have kids, and more money than they know what to do with.
I don't know how long it's going to take you, and we're leaving in the morning, and I really have no idea when we'll be back.
Well, I could put a rush order if you don't want anything fancy. I happen to be an armorer, that means I do have several pieces. If you want functional, I could piecemeal something together. Cost about 1,600.
We are working with Matthias. In case we go to another city, is there any way to contact you to have the...
You managed last time, didn't you?
I had to go through a bit of a haphazard process. But in case there's a little bit more of a straightforward way, if we could contact you through another armor if you had contacts in another city.
I wouldn't say contracts, I'm not exactly world spanning, but there's a far traveler here. People can get a hold of me. Name is on the sign after all.
Right. Good price
How
card.
long does a rush order take?
Like I said, I could have it by the end of today.
What? Oh, wow. I was thinking a rush order would be like 2 weeks.
No, I'm going to piecemeal it. I'm going to dive into my bin, find the nicest pieces, get the things that fit, and charge you full price.
Do you need to take some measurements or have me stick around so that you know everything fits right?
My friend, I am 800 years old.
Yeah, I still need to ask.
He tells you the size of your feet, your waist, your shoulders, and he
No
even
boots.
guesses what you ate today. Based
No
on
boots.
the bulge
I
of
do
your
not
stomach.
wear boots.
Yes, but he can
I-
still tell you the size if you wanted it.
Yeah. Let's do a rush order.
Alright, in that case, 1,600.
I'll start counting out the coin.
Oh, please don't do this one at a time. Jesus Christ.
2, 3. You made me lose count. 1, 2.
Sure, give him a
Three.
hand.
I'll just start out just kind of like mass piling them. You get...
I help with Mage Hand off to the side, making neat little stacks of 10 obsessively.
I try to keep up with them counting, but I just can't. I can't really count that high. I'm like,
everyone helping. I
three.
lost my count again.
Alright, eventually though, you do get it.
2.
And he scoops it off the table. Be back tonight.
Okay.
You don't mind floral
When do you
patterns,
close?
do you?
I'll deal with it.
We're called Bright Petal Ironworks. That's most of what I do.
Yeah, I'll deal with it.
Very well. Thank you for your patronage. If it looks bad, you didn't get it from me.
Deal.
Alright,
What time do you close? I'll drop by right before that.
right before that, about 3 hours from now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be back then.
I mean, it's 3.
You're just faster than I ever thought possible. That's all it is.
He pulls out like this giant like stack of just armor that's been piled. Another one from under. Another one from here. I'm spending 3 hours to go through this shit. It's already made.
See. thank you for your help. I'll see you in 3 hours.
No problem.
So, guys, anything you want to do now?
Realistically, got time. You guys need to rest. I'm pretty rested.
I need to find myself 200 gold to get study supplies.
Find, or do you have 200?
Hmm?
Do you need to find it, or do you already have it?
Oh, need to find it.
You found it. I can give you a couple hundred.
Are you sure? Certain?
Yeah, I've been saving up, and Matthias will be paying us relatively soon, so I'm not too worried about it.
I appreciate it.
That was very generous of you. You're a good person, I could tell.
Well, it is going to be helping us all, so
Still,
it's a little bit selfish.
that was still very kind of you.
Okay.
In the meantime, we can show you one of the better bars in town.
Ooh, I could go for a tankard of mead and a good
Well,
meal.
Let me buy fancy paperwork.
Which bar would you like to take them to?
Celishar?
Sparrow?
Sparrow's
Sure.
easy enough. Alright. So you guys are able to head there. You can take your long rest if you spend the night here. Anything else you guys would like me to make me aware of? I'm assuming you're going to pick up your armor at some point here, Cole. It is pretty much just like piecemealed plate. Some of it is like different shades. It is all metal, but like for instance on your shoulder pads there's a bunch of like roses engraved on one. On like one of your leg pieces there's like, it looks like thorns, like almost like barbed wire wrapped around it, just engraved in. Nothing fancy, it just has little pieces of embellishments here and there. The helmet though, as you get there, he's like bending something terribly, and he has a hammer and he's just trying to like put something through for your snout, and he sees you and you hear he's like swearing, and then he just grabs something else and he crams it down. He's just smacking the shit out of this thing.
Let me guess. The horns are causing a problem, right?
I don't need your sass. He just gets back to it, and eventually he does get something that does fit. It's mostly held in place though because of a strap and another thing he's put around the back, so it's more like a mask than anything else that fits around it. But then he's put like a bit of like a chainmail cloth over it to still protect the back of your neck. And your horns will be able to poke through as well.
That'll be useful, because they'll have to. I guess you can just have my old mail. I'm not sure if, I mean, I know it looks useless, but it actually isn't. Maybe you can find someone with really unusual tastes.
Oh, I'll melt it down. It's rather drab.
Yeah. Good luck on that. I have no idea if it'll actually melt.
I'll let you know.
I'll drop by and find out.
You
Because
do
that's a
that.
question I'd like to know. Thank you for the armor.
Fantastic. I'm glad you enjoy it.
And maybe we'll have some more patronage for you someday.
I would
Bye.
hope so. See you soon. Live. Lose the ammo. Buy it again. Bye.
I'll see what I can do. Bye.
Anyone else? Anything you would like to do?
I'm just gonna spend a little bit of time in the room, kind of like ruminating over the glass heart. Remember the glass heart I bought in Black Hollow? The one amber?
Yes.
never got enchanted,
Yes.
Just gonna sit there kind of like rolling it over my hands
Did you pick that up? Okay.
before we left.
I'll believe you. I don't remember if you guys did get around to picking it up, but I'll believe you.
maybe I really hope this will do for the vessel. Phylactery. Got nothing else to lose, right?
Are you talking to yourself?
Who else am I going to be talking to? I'm just going to reach down inside of myself, and I'm going to
Pull out that sausage from this morning.
I'm going to reach out to a familiar mind, the one that's been taunting us and questioning me.
Okay.
I have a vessel for you. We're on our way. Make sure the twins are safe.
Okay. You get a reply, and it says, "Good. Come quickly. We don't need to meet and leave it in the courtyard. And I'll send them down."
I'm going to. What time of day is it? It's probably late, right?
Yeah, it's like 6, 7 p.m. now.
I just want to make one quick trip down to a like a map maker. Anyone who would be skilled in cartography.
Okay.
I want to see if I can get a map of the keep.
Of the keep. High or low?
Sure, I'm feeling lucky. Let's go high.
Here's something. It's going to cost you 10 gold.
I'll pull out a platinum and I'll hand it over.
Fantastic. He passes it over, and it's like very, very old blueprints. You read Draconic?
Yes.
You do.
And I'm skilled with, I have expertise in cartography. And navigator's tools.
Fantastic. I know I gave it the name. This was actually penned by by Ultrak. And it's actually, it seems from what you're able to read from this, it's the plans to build his family's house during the time of the dragon flights. The dragon flights, of course, being when Yun started hunting dragons and a bunch of dragons exited that land and reigned terror across Char and Sigwolf for a couple hundred years until a peace was brokered and they were tried to brought back, but in some places the dragons didn't, and a few dragonborn popped up and so on and so forth.
Other than that, I'm going to, because of the message my patron sent me, I'm going to sit outside, wait until the sunrise. I'm going to keep the scroll in front of me, and I'm just going to study the map until sunrise.
Alright. Anyone else doing anything of note?
I am going to be putting this spell into my book. You all see it as I take out an erotic novel, some very fancy paper, inks. I have multiple different chunks of stone, wood, and building materials scattered around me, fragmented. I've taken up an entire table in the corner of the inn. I have a meal that I'm picking at. And every now and then when I get frustrated, you'll see bits of flame start to lift off of my head and shoulders. If I take a deep breath and get back to work. And I fall asleep on the table after finishing.
Got it. I like that. Cool. Looks like you gotta say something.
Yeah. While she's doing that, I'm gonna sit down at the table, wrap my hand in my cloak. Well, Cassie's cloak, but mine now. I'm gonna reach into my pack and pull out the rod and put it on the table.
Okay.
Crack my knuckles.
Would you
Place
like a
my
hand?
hands on it and try spend some time in attuning. What did you say?
Would you like a hand? Whatever that is, Buff?
Maybe if this doesn't work.
You want to attune to this thing.
I'm going to attempt to. Do I need to make like a...
No, I just have to ask the question. Are you sure about that?
No, but I'm going to do it anyway because I said I was going to do it.
Fantastic.
And my curiosity just like cannot be...
F in the chat.
I can't stop. I need to know.
I'm keeping an eye on this, and I'm in the back of my head. I'm reminding
arcane
myself
check.
how the spell works.
What do you say, DM?
Make an arcane check.
An arcane. Ooh.
If you're not... you have spellcasting, right? Because you're a paladin?
Yeah, I have spellcasting.
Cool.
I'm just not trained in
What
Arcana.
languages do you speak as well?
That's common, obviously, celestial, deep speech, abyssal.
Alright, fair enough. Make that arcane check.
Ooh, 18.
18. So you lay this thing in front of you. You put your hands to either side and you focus on it. And you start reaching out towards it. You don't feel something sentient through it, about it, but you do sense something connected to it. With that 18, you can feel yourself getting drawn into this, and you can feel that connection growing. You can feel yourself getting pulled into this item. Do you wish to continue?
Pull. Can you describe pulled how? Can you expand on that a little bit?
You remember the Fire Traveler when you were stretched beyond your limits? It's similar to that.
Do I see any of this, and can I
You
stop
just
it?
see him staring at it, and it looks like, you know, he's getting like a little bead of sweat.
I'll continue for a little while.
Okay.
I'm gonna pat him on the shoulder and cast guidance.
Make
Right
one
hand.
more arcane check.
With guidance if you want it.
Yeah, I think I probably need it. Oh, that's even better.
Guidance gives you plus D4.
D4. That was a 19 on the die. Plus 4!
23.
23. So as you start pushing your will against this thing, trying to grapple with it, figure out what is going on, you feel suddenly there's something so strange about this. It's, you know, it's a portal. That's what this is. This will take you to the Summer of Fae, and you can feel yourself getting stretched into this thing. But with that, it's something more, especially with them touching you. There's a connection here. It's not just the Fae. The portal around it, the Wreath of Fire, this was made in the Fire plane as well. This is a key to the Fae realms, but it was made by another plane of existence. You can feel that there's something to this, and you have a choice to get pulled through this. You see the White City in your mind. You can see a very tall, a very handsome gentleman. He's ethereal, he's elven, he is perfect in every way. And he looks toward you as if he can see you even though you're not there, and it imparts to you, you are a champion. And that's where we're going to end today's session. thank you guys for playing.
Good, because I don't have an answer to that.
In that case, you get time to
Sir,
figure
yes,
it out.
sir.
But thank you guys for playing. It's been fun, and hopefully we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Till then, hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.